What's up, Taiwan? Good morning. I'm Sandy Chi with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Children in Taiwan aged 6 months to 5 years are now eligible to receive a COVID-19 vaccine. Moderna shots will be available at some hospitals, clinics, and childcare centers. Appointments can be booked through each local government's health bureau. In another change to the country's vaccine policy, starting from Friday, 50-year-olds and above can get a second booster shot, as long as it's 5 months after their first one. 30 tons of Taiwanese grouper are now destined for Japan after China abruptly halted imports of the fish. But the ban has rocked an industry that is forged from close Taiwan-China ties. Rick Lowett takes a closer look at how geopolitics is taking its toll on Taiwan's trade.
These fishermen in southern Taiwan are sorting grouper. It takes 3 years for the fish to be ready for harvest. Last year, 91% of Taiwan's grouper for export went to China, sold and shipped live. Much of the country's grouper farms are in this region. But earlier this month, Beijing abruptly banned grouper imports from Taiwan, throwing the industry into turmoil.
因为我们这个生活都是靠这种养殖的啊，你这个饲料也在涨。 什么东西都在涨，你这个成本越大，就让我们这养殖的人的经济的问题就提高嘛。
China claims there were banned chemicals and excessive levels of other drugs in the grouper from Taiwan. Taiwan says the ban is politically motivated and is considering filing a complaint with the World Trade Organization. But Taiwan also bans the import of more than 600 agricultural products from China, another point of friction in cross-strait trade.
Fish farms like these flourished around 10 years ago when ties between Taiwan and China were warming and the two countries signed a free trade agreement. Now, with the relationship the frostiest it's been in decades, industries like this one are at the mercy of geopolitical tensions.
China claims Taiwan as part of its sovereign territory. And aside from threatening invasion, it is also waging a war of attrition. This includes sending warplanes into the area around Taiwan, forcing the country's military to scramble jets in response. But many here feel Chinese aggression isn't limited to flexing its military hardware.
Taiwan and China, in terms of economic and trade relationships, are now into we're looking at a very bumpy future. There will be other agricultural products that are equally likely to be subject to this a sudden ban based on food safety rationales or reasons. So the symbolic impact is that the old good days are gone.
The grouper industry is not the first to find itself in a prickly situation because of deteriorating relations with China. A ban on Taiwanese pineapples last year prompted a freedom pineapple movement. Local consumers and overseas allies bought the fruit en masse to make up for the loss of the China trade. As Taiwan looks to lessen reliance on the Chinese market, food has become a hot topic for domestic politics. In 2020, opposition lawmakers threw pig intestines in the legislature to protest the plans to import US pork containing the controversial additive ractopamine. The ruling party advocated for imports in a hard-fought referendum last year, describing the ban as a sticking point in furthering trade talks with the US. Food imports from Fukushima, which suffered a nuclear disaster in 2011, also caused controversy. But again, the ruling party, at the risk of alienating voters, pushed for produce from Fukushima to be allowed in. It wanted Japan's support for Taiwan's bid to join a massive trans-Pacific trade bloc. Agricultural trade to China by volume is already down 10% in the first half of this year.
我们必须要分散这个市场，不要把鸡蛋同时放在同一个篮子里面。我们过去太依赖中国的单一市场，那当然有它的原因，有地缘之变的关系，所以我们大部分外销会走到中国市场。
But the fish farmers here in Yong'an, exporting to a new market is not that easy. 30 tons of grouper are now on the way to Japan, and the country has promised to buy more. But this means the fish farmers will have to process, package and freeze their products, a much more costly procedure than selling the fish live across the strait to China.
就我的感觉是无力感，也是很无奈啊。因为这种两岸的关系不是说我们三言两语就可以解决的，真的是凡事还是要靠政府去搞好这个整体经济啊。
For those in the fishing community in Taiwan's south, deteriorating relations across the strait are less about regional stability and geopolitics and more about everyday economics. Damon Lin and Rick Lowert for TaiwanPlus.
China's agricultural bans have mostly hit farmers in areas that voted heavily for President Tsai Ing-wen. Her ruling Democratic Progressive Party, or the DPP, favors Taiwan independence, while the major opposition party, the Kuomintang or KMT, pushes for closer ties with China. CEO of think tank Taiwan Next Gen Foundation says politics may be a factor.
Chinese ban on agricultural imports could potentially be seen as measures against the ruling party, since it is mostly southern DPP voting regions that lead in Taiwan's agricultural industry. China has not yet banned imports, say, semiconductors, which are produced by northern areas that also have higher tendencies to vote for the KMT.
Taiwan has reached another milestone in its space technology ambitions. It's completed construction of its second domestically made weather satellite. The Triton will be tasked with gathering ocean wind data that can help improve weather forecasts. The satellite is said to be delivered to the launch site in French Guiana before the end of the year. It could be launched into space by early 2023. The International Union for Conservation of Nature is releasing updates of its so-called Red List of the world's endangered species. The Union is the authority on global biodiversity, and its list is based on assessments by experts in the field. Risk of extinction is divided into 8 categories, including species not immediately under threat, those in jeopardy, and those close to extinction. In Taiwan, 15 species are considered critically endangered. These include mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, and freshwater fish. It's sea urchin harvest season in Taiwan's western Penghu Islands, but the pickings this year are slim. Overfishing have left many areas almost bare. To help increase supply, the local government is trying to farm the urchins. But it's a slow process, with larvae taking up to half a year to grow to just 2 centimeters long. Conservationists say new regulations are needed to protect the sea urchin populations and the marine ecosystem. A same-sex couple from Taiwan and Japan have won a year-long battle to register their marriage in Taipei. A Taipei court on Thursday ruled that a district registration office was wrong to reject the couple's marriage application in May last year. The court has previously made the same ruling in 3 similar cases. Taiwan is the only country in Asia to allow same-sex marriage. But Taiwan doesn't allow marriages when one partner is from a country where same-sex unions are not legal. In this case, Japan. There have been calls for Taiwan to change the law. The Japanese partner spoke after the ruling.
同性愛者も異性愛者も変わらないよっていうことを証明したいと思っていたので、同性婚が成立する過程とか瞬間とかその後をずっと見てきて、自分にもやっぱり結婚ができるっていうのが分かった時に、本当に人生に光が差すようなすごい嬉しい気持ちになりました。
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with images of Guadalajara Zoo in Mexico, celebrating the birth of 2 orangutan babies. I'm Sandy Chi, take care and see you next time.
In a changing world, when voices are being silenced, TaiwanPlus is listening. We tell those stories. No compromise, no boundaries,
people in Taiwan.
no fear.
I want to study Chinese. I'm Ryan Kilpatrick.
Capital Taipei.
TaiwanPlus.
TaiwanPlus News.